All right, guys, so we are continuing box method. I've got a couple more complex examples. So if this is the first video you're watching, stop and go back to the box method part 1. Here are the steps from part 1, but I want us to start with a couple more complex problems. So this one, we've got a binomial, 6x plus 4, times a trinomial, negative 2x squared plus 2x plus 1. So I've got a 2 by 3 box this time. So I'm going to set up my first one down the side, 6x plus 4. And then I've got my trinomial going across the top. Negative 2x squared plus 2x plus 1. Now I'm going to multiply to fill in the box. So multiply to fill in, and then I will add or subtract to combine like terms. All right, so let's start multiplying. So inside this first box, negative 2x squared times 6x. Well, negative 2 times 6 is going to give me negative 12. X squared times x is going to give me x to the third. Okay, so there's my first box. Going off to the side, 2x times 6x. 2 times 6 is going to give me 12. And then x times x is going to give me x squared. And then the next one, 1 times 6x, nice and easy, 6x. All right, across the bottom, negative 2x squared times positive 4. Well, negative 2 times 4 is going to give me negative 8x squared. Next one, 2x times 4. 2 times 4 is going to give me 8, and x, positive 8x. For all of these that don't have signs, remember that's positive. And then 1 times 4 is going to give me 4. All right, so now I've multiplied. Now I've got to look to see, do I have any like terms? And sure enough, I have quite a few like terms. I've got the x squared terms. And then I also have these two x terms. And so now, here's where students go wrong. Once you have multiplied, now I am going to add to combine like terms. So I multiply to fill in the box, and then I'm going to add to combine like terms. So when I add these two, 12x squared plus negative 8, or 12x squared minus 8, I get 4x squared. And then 6x plus 8x, when I add those, I'm going to get 14x. I then drop everything else down that didn't get combined. Negative 12x to the third, and that's a plus sign. And then plus 4. And so then that whole thing ends up being my final answer. Remember, the exponents need to go in decreasing order. So I've got 3, 2, 1, nothing. And so that is my answer. All right, last one for this video. A little complicated because I've got 3 things that I need to multiply. A couple of ways that you can do this. You just have to multiply 2 numbers at a time. So you can multiply those 2 first and then multiply to the last one. Or you could multiply these 2 and then multiply the x squared. The y. Honestly, I would just go ahead and multiply these two first because we're so used to, with order of operations, multiplying from left to right. So let's go ahead and multiply those two. If we wanted to do the box, that would be a 1 by 2. So I'm just multiplying these first two terms. Polynomials, not terms, excuse me. I'm multiplying just those first two polynomials, the y and the 7y squared minus 5. Okay, so when I multiply in this first box, 7y squared times y is going to give me 7y to the third. Multiplying the next box is going to be negative 5 times y, or negative 5y. Okay, so that is my new first polynomial. Now I'm going to multiply that by this second one, 7y squared plus 5. Now I've got a 2 by 2, and so I need to set up a new box. All right, 7y to the third minus 5y. That's my first polynomial. And then my second one, 7y squared plus 5. Okay, so now I'm going to go through and multiply inside to fill in the box. So 7y squared times 7y to the third. Well, 7 times 7 gives me 49. And then y squared times y to the third gives me y to the fifth. Add those exponents. Okay, going over to the next one. 5 times 7y to the third is going to give me 7 times 5 is 35, and then y to the third. All right, bottom left box, 7y squared times negative 5y. 7 times negative 5 is going to give me negative 35. Y times y squared, y to the third. And then the last one, 5 times negative 5y. 5 times negative 5 is going to give me negative 25y. All right, I look in my box to see if there are any like terms I can combine, and I do. I have some like terms right here, and actually, when I combine those like terms, 35y to the third and negative 35y to the third, those cancel out altogether. They give me 0. And so the only thing I have left is just two terms, 49y to the fifth minus 25y. And that is my final answer. Had you done it the other way, had you multiplied these two numbers first and then multiplied by y, you would have gotten the exact same answer. Your box would have looked just a little different, and you would have kind of been working backwards of ours.